I was going to go back to the old days, Victorville. Do you remember when I first met you back many years ago over at the sign-up booth with Steve Evans at Victorville? You were like a little guy. You were like a little kid, you know, and you were really good. And that's the first time I met you as at Victorville many years ago. You were like, I don't know, like 14 or something like that. You were like a little guy. And you know, you were just, I watched you, I could not believe how good you freaking were. I was like, dang, this guy's good. This guy's really hot. And Dylan was hot too. Both of you guys were pretty dang good. And I just was wondering, like, what got you into Speedway?
So that's a good question. And by the way, Victorville, one of my favorite tracks that I've ever raced on here in the United States. It was a big stomping ground for me, and I'll always show great support to John Aiden and the fact that him and Steve Evans let me race there. I believe when I was only 14, I got to race a 350 in the Division I class, and I believe at 15 years old, I won my first Division I main event at Victorville on a 350 motor against 500. So always a pleasure talking about Victorville, and a big appreciation goes out to Steve Evans and John Aiden for allowing us to race there and allowing me to kind of stretch my legs a little bit and see kind of how far I could go. But originally, Speedway started for me and my little brother through the Ramirez brothers, Samuel, Jason Ramirez. We met them riding motocross out at a motocross track called Milestone, which is sadly closed down now. But met them riding motocross. Their dad, Sam Ramirez, ended up bringing us in, saying, "Hey, do you guys want to try Speedway one day?" Because him and my dad clicked really well. And when we won, we didn't know what Speedway was. This was back in 2008. So we went out, tried it one day, and I absolutely loved it. I couldn't imagine life without Speedway now because of that. But you know, that day just kind of clicked in my head, and that's what I knew I wanted to do. It was just something that that hit home to me. So I kept doing it, and now I'm sitting here talking to you. So yeah, it's just a big shout out to the Ramirez brothers. They were a big support and a big help in getting us going.
I like those guys, the Ramirez brothers. I like the Papa too. He's cool. We had lots of time. I used to go to his lawnmower shop in Orange and off of Chapman. I don't know where it is now, but he had the lawnmower shop, and I used to go there and hang out, and we used to shoot the bull and hang out. And it was cool. And the Ramirez family, they're awesome. They're really, really cool people, and good Speedway riders too. The Ramirez's. Those guys can ride.
Yes,
definitely good riders. They're good people, and they're still in Orange, right? They're still over there in Orange, over there off near the hills and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. They're still right over there in Orange, right off, I believe it's Chapman or one of those Chapman, Catella, something like that.
Chapman and Hughes or something like that. Chapman and Hughes.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not too familiar, but I know they're around that area for sure.
Yeah, they're cool. Another question for you, Max. Who is your favorite old time rider, or do you have one? Do you have a older, not now, but old racer?
If if we're talking about old racers, there's definitely got to be quite a bit of inspirational people. You go back to 1937 when Jack Melanie won the world championship. He was the first American to ever do it. He was one of the 5 Americans to ever do it. There's only been 5 American world champions. So, if you look back on something like that, he would definitely probably be like a heavy hitter. But, you look back at like Bruce Penhall, 2-time world champion. He was the first American to ever win it twice. Big inspiration. You look at someone like Kelly Moran, who lived a life that was like no other. I've read the book and gotten to hear stories about the guy, and he lived a heck of a life. Oh my gosh, I couldn't, the stuff that they tell in just his book alone would throw any kid in jail in a heartbeat today. But if you're looking at something like that, if you're looking at professionalism or something like that, you'd have to go with someone like Greg Hancock. A four-time world champion in the sport. Literally paved a way for world speedway, not just American speedway. World speedway in general. I think he won his fourth world title at 46. Who does that? How could you not admire that, right? So
it's insane.
I mean, there's a lot to admire if you're going back in the day.
I mean, Hancock, the day he retired, he could still win like any freaking main, anything. I mean, that guy was just on fire, man. The lines he rode, I watched him ride. Everybody watched him ride. And even practicing, that guy was on fire. That guy could just ride that crazy outside line. He would start it way to freak out there near the wall and just ride it, and then just, oh God. That guy was just full throttle, and he was just like, that guy was unbelievable. I mean, that guy could ride like Greg Hancock. He was just right?
Completely.
The guy was sick. So who do you look up to today? Do you look up to anybody today, or just look in the mirror and look at yourself?
Oh man. Well, I think Greg Hancock, if we're talking about anybody, it'd be that guy, to have a career for as long as he did and be able to continue to race speedway, and at the age that he did. This is a young man's sport. You see the current top guys in the world aren't more than 30 years old. That they're within, that they're younger. So to look up to a guy like that would be something insane. But you have a guy like I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I'm gonna get close enough. Bartosz Smazlik, that guy is just an understatement of unreal fast. You got a guy like him, Ty Wolfington. I believe I'm saying it right, where it's like Matti Janowski. Man, even like Freddie Lindgren. There's if you look at any Grand Prix star who has been at the top level in the World Championships in the past 3 years, they are inspirations. They're the guys that are the ones to beat. They're the ones that are getting the publicity. They're the ones that are making real money at the sport. So if I could make a living like they do off the sport, that would be something to look forward to.
I think you can. I really do. I think you can do that. Just keep yourself focused. Keep your confidence level. You have that air of confidence, that belief in yourself, and that really helps a lot. I always mention the young riders, they ride with their throttle, but the good riders ride with their brain. They're the ones thinking about, and those guys you just mentioned, all those GP riders, they all ride with their brain.